Hello everyone, my name is Anisley Moreno and I'm a social work student at South Florida University. This is my contributions presentation and I'll be doing it on Anita Rose Williams. Anita Rose Williams is a pioneer social worker, distinguishedly known because she was the first African American Catholic social worker in the United States. Anita Rose Williams was born in 1891 in Baltimore, Maryland. Unfortunately, Mrs. Williams did not have any formal education after high school. She only attended to the 8th grade. But thankfully, after certain approvals, Mrs. Williams was able to attend the Johns Hopkins University, where there she took some sociology lecture classes. During the early 1900s, Anita was employed by a wealthy philanthropist where she had the opportunity to do many volunteer work in the family, with one being the Family and Child Welfare Agencies. During that time, Anita Rose Williams also participated in the Colored Youth Women's Christian Association. After I did some research, I found out that there was an already existing YWCA. Unfortunately, back in that time, Black African American women were not at the same place that white middle class working women were. So Anita's purpose of creating the Colored Youth Women's Christian Association was to help those sisters in need as well. The objective of this association is to help the young women in our communities to a better and truer womanhood, to encourage them to make the most of themselves in mind, body, and soul, to teach them to find the sweetness of life in its compensation even under the most adverse and discouraging circumstances. To bring about these conditions, we offer them a Christian home. So after 8 years, the Colored Youth Women's Christian Association became a branch of the already existing YWCA. Since they did have the same purpose and goals, they just integrated together. Anita Rose Williams in 1912 also became part of the interracial interfaith community, where they were focused in solving the problems that interracial communities were having in their cities. In 1921, she began to organize the women of the 4 African American parishes of the city to work with their youth regarding welfare, financial assistance, goal orientation, and recreational activities. The activities of the organization were sanctioned by the church and continued in the parishes until the Great Depression. Anita Rose Williams' career began when she became part of the Associated Catholic Charities in the St. Vincent de Paul Society in 1922. The St. Vincent de Paul Society is dedicated to tackling poverty and disadvantage by providing practical assistance to those in need. Anita Rose Williams was only there a year because they withdrew her to be part of the Bureau of Catholic Charities of Baltimore in the St. Mary's County. This was happening in the midst of all the Great Depression. So Anita was a huge influence and help to this emergency situation. They actually, at a national meeting of directors of the Catholic Charities, she was actually praised for her work, and that resulted that Catholic charities across the country began to hire African American social workers. In September of 1933, Anita Rose Williams, along with 4 other workers, organized the District 11 of the Baltimore Emergency Relief Commission. The agency was divided into district geographic to encompass all the Baltimore cities. Each district was managed by a secretary. That is why Mrs. Williams was then the first African American to become a supervisor, to be employed. She was employed by the social agency in Baltimore. The agency promoted of adequate family through the casework services. And although the emergency conditions prevailed, social work as a profession was advanced in the 1930s. caseworkers began exploring new ideas regarding psychology of human behaviors and communities of psychiatric services were then trying to be offered. Unfortunately, she worked in the commission for 3 years and then it was disbanded in the 1936, where then Anita Rose Williams returned back to the Catholic Charities of Baltimore. Anita Rose Williams was a board member of the Barrett Training Schools for Girls, and her contribution there was so enormous and so appreciative that a building at the Barrett School for Girls in Glen Burnie, Maryland was named in her honor. Unfortunately, after they were already all closed down, the Montreal School for Girls actually named a dormitory in Mrs. Williams' honor. Mrs. Williams retired from the Catholic Charities in 1958, but she continued to do charity work around Baltimore. She continued her contribution as a board member of the Stella Maris. The Stella Maris was one of the first Medicare certified hospices in Maryland. Since 1983, we have provided end-of-life care to individuals facing a life-limiting illness, whether care is provided in the home or in an outpatient unit. Hospice care at Stella Maris is not just a service, but a part of our mission. And this was specifically taken from the Stella Maris website. Anita Rose Williams was awarded many different awards, among them being the honorary degree as a Doctor of Humane Letters from the Latoya College, Certificate of Appreciation by the Baltimore chapter of the American Council on Human Rights. Anita Rose Williams passed away in 1983 at the age of 91. However, her contributions to welfare are still admired today. I am glad that I got the opportunity to do some research and bring some light to Anita Rose Williams, as she is still influencing all the social workers today, and she's a great example of what social workers should follow. Thank you for watching.